You're watching ABC7 News at 5:30.
Welcome back. A long-awaited affordable housing project in Venice is finally moving forward. The replacement for the Garden Groves complex has been in the works for 9 years now. ABC7's Christopher Brantley joins us live tonight from Venice with more details. Good evening, Christopher.
Good evening, Jacqueline. The project is ready to go, and really it has been for some time. All it's been waiting for is funding, and now it's got it. In 2009, the affordable housing complex Grove Terrace was torn down to make way for this. Phase 1 for senior citizens was built, but Phase 2 for families wasn't. How are you feeling about having funding finally after 8 years?
Oh, ecstatic. Absolutely ecstatic. Yeah. It's been a long haul.
Martha Thomas, executive director of the Venice Housing Authority, tells us the funding was based off a state lottery system. Each year, the project wasn't selected.
You know, you go into a bucket with 200 other applications and you come out 185 out of 200. There's no chance of being funded.
Finally, their lucky number came up, partly because there was so much outside help. The city of Venice donated $550,000, the city of Sarasota and Sarasota County $750,000, and the Venice Housing Authority donated $1 million.
I'm very, very happy about it. It's something that we need.
Venice's mayor has been pushing for the project for years. He's thrilled the 5-building, 52-unit complex can start getting built. Some units will have 1 bedroom, others 2 or 3 bedrooms. And this is all geared towards working families who just aren't making enough.
It's basically a form of workforce housing. And if there's one thing we're short of, and you could talk to virtually any businessman in town, we're short of labor.
The monthly rents will be determined based on the individual family's income. And according to Thomas, that's desperately needed.
I had 3 phone calls on my phone when I came in this morning from people that are either homeless or about to be homeless or just can't make it anymore.
And soon enough, folks in that exact same boat will be able to apply to live in the new Venetian Walk community. Construction on the first building is set to begin in early 2019, with that first of the 5 buildings opening in March of 2020. Live in Venice, Christopher Brantley, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Okay, Christopher, thank you. The city of Venice is considering a new program to replace backflow preventers. The equipment is used to pump drinking water into homes. The city prefers that the preventers be inspected and replaced every 10 years. However, there has not been a policy in place to handle that. Tomorrow, the City of Venice Utilities Director will ask City Council for nearly $300,000 to replace those aging preventers. Well, a nice evening tonight. Let's check in with Steve Newman for a look at our forecast. Steve?
Hi, Jacqueline. The kids are on spring break all week, and the weather could not be nicer for enjoying the beach or whatever you want to do outdoors with the strong easterly flow. It's a little breezier than we normally get this time of year, but that's the only fly in the ointment if you're heading outside is little gusty winds. There's some showers along the Atlantic coast. It's been fairly dreary over there, and a few of them are trying to make it all the way across the state, but the heat of the day is dying down, and I don't think they're going to make it. So we'll just have partly cloudy skies as these showers move toward us and gradually thin out as we move through the evening. Here is the future radar, and it is way out of whack. You can't believe this. This is the current state of the atmosphere, and the showers that they are predicting upstream gradually thinning off with an easterly, fairly strong easterly wind blowing across the state that will continue right on through tomorrow. Heading out on the town tonight, here your temperatures cooling off through the 80s in the next hour, 75 at 8 p.m. and cooling off through the 70s all evening long. And our lows are only going to be around 65, 66, considerably warmer for this time of year. There is a change in our forecast coming up, a brief one. I'll tell you when the rain chance gets here in just a few minutes.
Okay, thank you, Steve. Did you notice more sailboats than usual in the Sarasota Bay today? If so, it's because this morning was the kickoff of the 2018 Flying Scot Midwinter Championship. It's a sailboat race hosted every other year by the Sarasota Sailing Squadron. ABC7's Taylor Torgano is live at the bay as the boats return from day 1 of the races. Taylor?
Yes, good evening, Jacqueline. There are 61 sailboats participating in this 4-day race, and you can see all the work that goes into docking them as they return from day 1 on the course. It was a sight to see 61 Scott sailboats launching from Sarasota Bay.
And ironically, 61 years the boat's been being built, so it's kind of an interesting correlation.
An old school boat compared to a classic car sailing amongst the new generation of speed and motorboats. But this sailing requires a lot of skill and strategy, and the first to cross the finish line of the full circle course will win the 2018 Flying Scot Midwinter Championship.
And the course is designed to test your skills on the water. So you'll sail upwind or into the wind, then you'll sail off the wind, away from the wind. So if you're really proficient at all aspects of sailing in every direction, then obviously you're going to do well.
Like, say, last year's champs, Zeke and Jay Horowitz. But for the father and son, the racing isn't just an opportunity to hit the water on a beautiful day.
There's nothing like it. It's really a treat for both of us to get to race together and travel together and just get to spend a lot of time together, let alone out on a beautiful bay racing sailboats.
A time for bonding, but they're good at it too. So what's their secret to sailing?
This guy's my secret weapon.
But my wife Karen, his mother, made us chocolate chip cookies made with love. So that's really our secret.
That is the real secret weapon.
Dessert. And the pair also mentioned steering clear of sailboat traffic and knowing certain wind tactics. Right now, the winds are blowing up to 18 miles per hour, but that's not the tricky part when launching a sailboat. It's these gusts that are reaching up to 22 miles per hour. But the best sailors will use those gusts to their advantage. And even those who finish last may argue there are no losers when you get to spend the day on Sarasota Bay. And if you would like to come watch the sailboats launch, they'll be here at the Squadron Clubhouse on Ken Thompson Parkway every day, launching from about 10 a.m. to noon. I'm live on Sarasota Bay. Taylor Torregano, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Okay, thank you, Taylor. Today also marks the start of spring break across the Suncoast. Schools in both Manatee and Sarasota counties will have the rest of the week off and will resume classes next Monday, April 2nd. So you can expect to see more crowded beaches than usual throughout the rest of this week. And baseball's opening day is later this week, which means the end of the spring training season here on the Suncoast. The Baltimore Orioles say that even though attendance was down this year, they still welcomed more than 100,000 fans to Ed Smith Stadium for the 8th time in 9 seasons. The Orioles had 6 sellouts this spring, and the team has now hosted nearly 1 million fans at Ed Smith since the Orioles moved to Sarasota 9 years ago. And while the Orioles are playing an exhibition game with their AAA team in Norfolk, the Pirates played their final game at Lecom Park in Bradenton today. The Phillies were in town for a cross-state rivalry. That regular season begins on Thursday. Still to come on your Suncoast News, is obesity in America becoming a new normal? A new study with all of the shocking details when we come back.
Motor Trend said the new Alfa Romeo Giulia is hands down the best sports sedan you can buy today. And named it the 2018 Motor Trend Car of the Year. Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? But now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
One of the motivating factors for me to become a Big Brother was that I was mentored as a youth. And it was important for me to kind of pass forward the things that were kind of given to me. It's really just as simple as getting to know a kid. You don't have to be an athlete. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to have any of those other things. You just have to be willing to spend a little time and help mold some young person's life.
I'll be right back. Hi! You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later.
resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
When evaluating the Alfa Romeo Stelvio, Car and Driver magazine said every crossover should be this good to drive. We agree. Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Obesity in America is a well-known epidemic, but is there an end in sight, or has obesity become the new normal? Stephanie Ramos has more details.
Since the 1980s, American adults have become rounder in epidemic proportions. In kids, there seems to be a leveling off effect in obesity between 2005 and 2014. The CDC reported on data from the National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey. They looked at data from almost 30,000 adults and 17,000 young people to watch obesity trends over a decade, from 2007 through 2016. The results were mixed. For young folks, the prevalence of obesity was 16.8% in 2007 and 18.5% 10 years later. There were no significant differences when looking at age or gender, but that's still nearly 2 out of every 10 kids weighing in as obese. For adults, obesity increased from 33.7% to 39.6% over 10 years. It stood out most in women and adults between 40 to 59 and 60 or older. Keep in mind, these trends increase risk for all types of disease, from heart attack, stroke, and diabetes to many forms of cancer. With this Medical Minute, I'm Stephanie Ramos for ABC News.
We are now at the beginning of a spring break across the Sun Coast, and what beautiful beach weather we have in store all week long. There's not going to be a drop of rain, I don't think, which we really need. We really need. But the best chance we've got is coming in Friday night into Saturday morning. But look at this, the sun is getting ready to set over the Gulf of Mexico from our Casey Key webcam. Temperatures quite mild, actually some would say warm. 83 degrees for this time of year is warmer than normal. Our humidity is way up there again, well 46% with a dew point of 60. We've been down in the upper 30s and 40s late last week and over parts of the weekend. But right now those east-northeast winds at 13 are bringing some moisture off of the Atlantic. If you want to go out and see the sunset tonight, sunset will be at 7:45 p.m. Sunrise tomorrow morning at 7:27. Should be a beautiful sunset indeed. Across the state, it's 83 at Tampa, 86 Fort Myers, Naples, Key West because of the clouds and maybe some showers down around Key West, 78 there. Up in the Panhandle, 63 in Tallahassee. So there's some cool weather to be found. Across our viewing area, a little warm inland than it is along the coast. Longboat Key, 76, Siesta, 78. Let me take a look at the clouds that are marching across Florida right now. You see the individual cumulus clouds in this high-resolution GO 16 image parading right across it, but they don't have any rain with them. There's some scattered showers and light mist, I think, for the most part along the Atlantic coast. And we're seeing that on radar right now, but it's evaporating and dissipating even before it makes it to Highlands County, so it's certainly not going to make it to the Sun Coast this evening. But along the Atlantic coast, it is a fairly dreary day with that wind coming in off of the Atlantic. It's also fairly dreary and snowy up in Minnesota, and a wintry mix in parts of the southern part of that state heading into the Great Lakes. But where focus is right now across Texas, we have a threat of severe thunderstorms in that severe thunderstorm watch and a couple of warnings right now. Wichita Falls is getting hammered a little bit. Here's Dallas-Fort Worth. They'll be under the gun later on tonight. But some of these storms have been producing hail and locally damaging winds around Throckmorton. Let's continue to move on to the northeast. Part of a storm system marching across Texas and the Midwest right now. That little pool of cooler air is continuing to pump along the Atlantic. And all that rain they've had the last few weeks in California is being shut off by high pressure. We're going to have some decent spring weather out there. Temperatures from coast to coast, 52 at Denver. There's the heat producing the storms in Texas, 86 in the 90s in some of those warm spots. New York City currently 47 degrees. Taking a look at our future cast. forecast through the next 48 hours shows that front washing out as it moves southward into the Florida Strait. Maybe some showers along the Atlantic coast, but now we move into Tuesday and into Wednesday. High pressures in control, just channeling that easterly flow over the state, but it's going to be very little change in our weather pattern once the winds die down, I think, on Wednesday. And the winds will be a little gusty today and tonight and tomorrow. East 10 to 15, seas 2 feet. A moderate chop on bay and inland waters for the sailing squadron out there. And if you're going to the beach, 80 degrees tomorrow with the water temperature of 70 and a UV index of 8. Picture perfect for this time of year. Here's my forecast for tonight. Partly cloudy and a mild 60 for the low temperature. And tomorrow will be a mostly sunny day and breezy with gusts up to 20 miles per hour. 83, you can't argue with that. Here's your 7-day. It's going to be in the low 80s all weekend long until Friday. We'll have an approaching cold front bringing a chance of showers Friday night into Saturday, about a 50% chance early Saturday morning. Then it clears out. The rest of Saturday, great. Easter Sunday, great. And Monday, we start more dry weather, which we don't need, but that's what we're getting. Let's enjoy it. Jacqueline.
Thanks, Steve. Great weather for those spring breakers. Time now to check your first alert traffic for the drive home. There is some construction work around the interchange at State Road 64 and I-75. It is causing some minor backups heading east on State Road 64, so keep that in mind if you are heading home. In consumer news tonight, car buyers aren't the only people worrying about the rising price of new cars. Now dealers are starting to get worried as well. The Wall Street Journal says with the average price of a new car just over $32,000, there are concerns that sales may slow this coming year. The Federal Trade Commission is taking aim at Facebook. The agency announced this morning that it has opened an investigation into the company's privacy practices. Facebook facing questions following reports that data from 50 million users landed in the hands of Cambridge Analytica, a political consulting firm, without their consent. The FTC considering whether Facebook violated a 2011 consent decree. Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg took out full-page ads in newspapers on Sunday to apologize for a breach of trust and promised to do better. Meanwhile, Apple wants to bring more people with disabilities into the emoji world. The company is now proposing new emojis that would focus on representing people with disabilities in 4 main categories: blind and low vision, deaf and hard of hearing, physical and motor skills, and hidden disabilities. The emojis would include people with hearing aids, using sign language, wheelchairs, and white canes. Well, stay with us. Entertainment news is coming up next.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
ABC7 is gearing up for this year's JDRF One Walk on Saturday, April 7th at Nathan Benderson Park, and we'd love for you to join us. Hi, I'm Jacqueline Matter, and this is my friend Emma Bella, who lives with type 1 diabetes.
The JDRF One Walk helps raise awareness and funds for kids with type 1 diabetes, and it's fun too.
Walk with us and make a difference.
And help kids like us.
For more
information, visit walk.jdrs.org.
There's a lot of fear in coming back to school. I'm a 40-year-old man that walked in there to get his high school diploma. It was very hard for me, but one of the teachers was Miss Araceli. She gave me direction. Every single time I had a question, she'll put down whatever she's doing and she'll sit there with you until you get it. 50% of getting your high school diploma is walking through those doors. The other 50% is doing the work.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Get all the local information you need before you leave home in the morning. Watch Good Morning Suncoast weekdays on ABC7 to get breaking news, plus first alert, weather, and traffic focused on where you live. ABC7, we're here for you.
In entertainment news, Black Panther is no longer the top movie at the box office. For the latest on what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Christopher Watson.
Pacific Rim Uprising finally bumped Black Panther out of the box office top spot, debuting with $28 million. But Black Panther's still setting records. It's now the highest grossing superhero film of all time and the 5th highest grossing movie domestically, period. All in just 6 weeks. Jennifer Hudson with a powerful performance of The Times They Are Changing at the March for Our Lives in Washington, D.C. Saturday. The singer lost her mother, brother, and nephew to gun violence 10 years ago. Common, Ariana Grande, Miley Cyrus, Andra Day, Demi Lovato, and Lin-Manuel Miranda also performed.
Who is this? My name's Cable. I'm here for the kid.
If there's still to be an animated Deadpool series, it won't be on FXX and it won't involve Donald Glover. Both have dropped the project, apparently citing creative differences. And actress Keira Knightley's 33 Monday. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Christopher Watson, ABC News.
Well, auditions are complete on American Idol, and tonight is the start of Hollywood Week. Ryan Seacrest gives us a sneak peek.
Hey, it's Ryan Seacrest. Join me for American Idol tonight when we kick off Hollywood Week. Now that the auditions are over, our talented hopefuls have arrived, and they're one step closer to making their Idol dreams come true. You'll get a front row seat to some incredible performances, catch up with your favorites, and the night wouldn't be complete without a few dramatic surprises.
That was your worst nightmare right there in front of you.
It's all coming up tonight on American Idol.
And remember, you can watch the kickoff of Hollywood Week tonight right here on ABC7. It all starts at 8 o'clock. Stay with us. We'll be right back with more news and weather after the break.